Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. Oh, we're on Seraph at the End, episode 5, The Black Demon's Contract. I'm really excited. I poured myself a glass of wine. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling it. I'm feeling Seraph at the End. You know why? Because we get to watch the OP and the ED in its full glory in this episode. I'm pretty excited about that. That has me very excited. But yeah, last episode we got Vampire Michaela figured out his origins, the striking parallels between the vampire world and the human world. There's some forbidden enchantment that they're dealing with. The humans aren't supposed to mess with. The vampires are worried about another virus getting released. They're like, let's just wipe out the Imperial Army and get all the humans subjugated. Totally will work. So, and meanwhile, old Farid seems like he's noticing that Michaela has plans. He's gonna go find his friend Yu and rescue him. It's like, our boys who've been pining after each other for all these years, and Yu doesn't know that Michaela's a vampire. There won't be any angst or anything of consequence happen because of this, right? I'm pretty excited though, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I've been excited. I've been waiting for episode 5 for a long time because I've wanted to see this darn OP. Everybody's like, the OP is great, but it's spoilery, and I'm like, ugh. So we finally get to see the OP, finally get to watch this, get to see the whole episode in its full glory. I'm pretty excited about that. So with that being said, we're not gonna waste any more time. I've waited all day to dive into this episode, and so I can't wait. So let's do this, shall we? We are gonna start episode 5 of Seraph of the End, and we're going to start that here in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. This episode went by way too quickly. Way too quickly. What the heck, show? What the heck? Too quick. This is really good. This is a really, really good episode. I liked this a lot. Yeah. So I can't believe how quickly this episode went by. I felt like it would just snap. I love the OP. The OP is great. I'm so glad we finally get to see it. The OP is wonderful. I have a feeling we'll be picking it apart. It's very interesting noticing that Mika's sword has like the red vines, like the thorny vines coming across it. It looks like it's like attached to his blood. I'm curious to know how in the world, how these contracts, these demons work. Because the vampires make it sound like you're not supposed to have a contract with a demon. Like, that's a bad thing. Like, no, you should not have this contract with a demon. That's going to end horribly wrong, and it's forbidden. So I'm like, I could see why the idea that if you don't have a good constitution, you try to make a contract with these demons, they'll turn you into a man-eating monster, or they'll just kill you. It's like, yeah, that's not good. And I can see why the vampires are like, we don't need a bunch of these, like, demons in human bodies running around. So what's interesting is I love the parallel, because I'll be honest, when we transitioned over to the meeting of the Imperial Army, I thought it was still the vampires. I thought it was like Farid and the others like meeting after the big theatrical performance to like debrief the other vampires. But no, it was the Japanese army. So there's so many parallels drawn between the Japanese Imperial Demon Army and the vampires. There's so many parallels drawn between them. But I like this guy with the silver hair and the blue eyes. His blue eyes kind of look like Mika's. So I'm like, is this guy supposed to be paired up with Guren? Is he? Is this guy, this very laid back guy with the moon, crescent moon there, talking about intel and suspicious vampire activity in the Kansai region? And yeah, poor Gurin. And he smiles over at Gurin like I feel like he's supposed to be paired up with Gurin. I don't know who this blonde guy is. But the other guy is looking like suspicious, like, Gurin, wake up. I love that Gurin just Ichinose Gurin, like just fell asleep during it. And yeah, his badge is the star, whereas the other guy is the moon. And so yeah, he like stands up and is like, I'm bored. I hate this. Is this meeting over with yet? And the one guy's nice. He's like, it's not. But yeah, so we have this other guy with the big metal arm. He's like, you're just a member of the Ichinose family. And then Tinry Hiragi. Excuse me if I was extremely bored. So yeah, Tinry looks like he's got like the mecha coming off his arm, and he has like the plate and everything and the metal arm, and his like face is half like torn off. Interesting. He also has purple hair and the same color eyes as Shinoa. I'm going to guess that he's Shinoa's dad. Would make sense. It would make sense if he was Shinoa's father, because that would explain, one, how she gets away with everything, and she's super powerful, so I'm going to guess that he's Shinoa's dad, because they have the same, or uncle or something, they have the same hair color, same eye color. Hair and eye color. Interesting. Yeah, this dude looks like he's seen some action. And then, yeah, Guren's like, I'm about out of here. See ya. So yeah, and the one guy's like, oh, this is totally normal. It's fine. Leave Guren alone. And then, yeah, he's like, just even... Guren has the mentality of the guy that's like, this whole meeting could have been an email. Like, I'm kind of with Guren on this. I hate meetings where I'm like, this could have been an email. You could have just sent it out to everybody. Why are we stuck standing here listening to y'all talk? I hear you, Guren. I feel you. I feel you so much. So, yeah, I love these. Just like, peace out. Leaving. And then, yeah, and the one guy, the blonde guy, he's very kind. He's like, oh, come on, Guren. He's like, even I can't defend you if your attitude's that bad. He has a very Mika vibe to him, and I feel like, are him and Guren supposed to be shipped together, interestingly enough? But then, yeah, I love this dude with the mohawk that stands out. Like, this guy with the mohawk. And then Guren's like, who asked you to defend me? Like, quit flirting. And then the guy with the mohawk, like, pumps out. Where is he at? Yeah, because Guren's like, oh, nobody cares about my family. And then this guy with the mohawk's like, oh, so you do know your place. Look at this haircut. Like, he has the big mohawk and the shaved head. Get lost, scum. And, like, his jacket's all open. I got very much the divisions of the Shinigami from Bleach. I got, like, very much the Hiragi, like, the different divisions. That's what I got from this meeting. It felt very Bleach-like. Like, you're getting each individual branch of the Japanese demon army. Like, it just gave me that impression. Like, these are all different generals. And Guren's, like, of his own sect. And then these guys are all their own groups. But they all have, like, different looks, different personalities. It very much had a Bleach vibe. But in a good way. So, yeah, then Guren's like, I don't need to hear any of this. Bye. And the funny thing is, Guren's mentality... Guren's attitude is very similar to Yu's. Like Guren reminds me of a grown-up Yu. He's very cocky, kind of arrogant, but he's older now, and so he's just like, he's older, so he acts like an adult, whereas Yu is a 16-year-old kid. He acts like a 16-year-old kid. And then Guren knows how to take him because he's like, well, I was once like you too, so I get it. And the animation in this episode, like, the way that all the characters, like, moved around and animated themselves, it was very interesting. It felt, like, very intentional. And I was trying to, as I watched, like, the actions of the characters, like him doing his hair and you falling backwards, it felt very human and like an actor doing it, not a drawing. So I was trying to imagine that it was like this in the manga, but I don't know. It's interesting. And so this line by Guren is really curious, though. Guren says, I don't want to keep him here long and attract Hiragi's attention. So I wonder why he doesn't want to attract Hiragi's attention. Because here's the thing, Yu is around Shinoa all the time. Like, if he was going to attract any attention, you'd think Shinoa would tell her dad or uncle or however they're related. You'd think she'd tell him about it, but curious. That line's curious. So I feel like that's something like to tuck away for now, that it'll come back later. And then Guren's like, sure, yep, let's just sign a contract with a demon. Like, it's no big thing. Like, it's just totally fine. Like, let's just go sign that contract, get it over with, sign your life away to this demonic presence. No big deal. Everything's kosher. You know, it's just crazy. And Yu's like, really? Okay. He's like, and I'll let you fight on the front line. He's like, I don't care if you haven't finished training. That's not important. It's your fault if you die. It's like, it's not a game. So yeah, just the movement of the characters, it's very interesting in this. And so yeah, we go back to Shinoa and everything, and Shinoa teasing him, and Shinoa saying that Guren is crass, and he's kind of an ass, and he's violent, but he always keeps his promises. He's a very loyal and true person. He's an honest person. He's not going to manipulate you in any way. And then Guren saying things are getting interesting. So then we cut to Mika. And Mika down here with, I don't know, the idea of vampires with planes and helicopters. It makes me, it's hilarious to me because when I think of vampires in stories, I think of them flying around. I think of vampires just flying around like it's no big deal. And to see them have helicopters with like machine guns and things, I'm like, this is interesting. It's just very curious, right? All this technology and machinery. And then, yeah, poor Mika. Like, at least Yu has Shinoa and Yoichi and Kimizuki and Gurin. At least he has friends, even though he doesn't really think of them as friends. They are his friends. At least he has them. Poor Mika, all he has is Farid, this diva that just stalks him and, like, watches out for him. And teases him, saying, you'll finally be able to find your precious angel. And it's like, if only you knew. If only you knew. He's like, I have high hopes for you, Mika. And this part's so sad where Mika, like, goes back to his family. Like, well, not his family. He goes back to, like, his home. And he tries to go in. But then, like, the kids there, they all, like, they're scared of him because he's a vampire now. And to know that the stuff with the kids is still going on. Like, they're still taking in kids and drinking their blood. Like, to know that that's still a thing. So sad. And yeah, Mika just can't connect to humanity anymore. And that's the thing I'm afraid of is that Yu's gonna see him and know he's a vampire and it's gonna be so sad. I'm like, I'm not ready for the angst. I'm not ready for the angst at all. But yeah, so Sayuri, we get Sayuri's name, the teacher. She is the most long-suffering teacher. She's just like, okay. She's like the TA that's not getting paid enough to do her job. I kind of love it. But yeah, so all the exams and everything showing if they've got the aptitude to gain a cursed rank weapon. And of course, Kimizuki gets 100% and our boy Yu gets 0. Gets the bottom of the barrel. And Yoichi tries to play it off as, oh, well, it's just because he grew up in this rural area and didn't know any different. Like, Yoichi was trying to be nice and stick up for him, but it didn't work. And I find it very curious that half the people in the comments so far, half the people like Shinoa and half the people hate her. I think that's hilarious. I like Shinoa so far, but her like little antic of running around with the test scores with you, those little antics, I can see how some people would take that as being annoying. I get it. I do. I like Shinoa because she's kind of badass and she just doesn't give a shit. But I can see why people would not like her. So there's that. And she's just kind of like, what? What'd I do? Like, I think it's kind of cute, but I could see where if somebody was annoyed by her. I get it. But I like Shinoa's character so far. I'm curious to see, especially now knowing that she's related to the top brass. That makes things with her much more interesting. And I'm going to be curious to know like what her role in all of this is. Is she like a spy for her uncle / dad / whatever relative he obviously is to her? Or is she like, did she like just rebel and is doing things her own way? Like what's her purpose and role in all of this? That's going to be interesting. And then of course, Yoichi, we have Guren come in. He's like, okay, if you guys can withstand the demon, then I'll make a contract. But if you don't, you're going to die. I love the visuals of the demon. Like just, it looks like water. It looks like inkwells. Like in the last episode, we got a preview of it. And this, we see it like in full swing. Like it's so creepy. And it has like a woman's voice. It reminds me, again, of Bleach. It reminds me of Shunsui. Shunsui, his sword is like, has a feminine presence to it. So like the screams that you heard were female. So I thought that was really, really interesting. I'm like, is the demon that's in Guren's sword a woman or a female entity? Interesting. But I like that he's like, whoever can stand up will be able to withstand having the contract with the demon. And the only ones who can are Yoichi, Yu, and Kimizuki. And I like that Yoichi, like Kimizuki, his heart's being squeezed. Like he can barely stand up. And Yu's like, what's going on? And Yoichi's like, is everybody okay? Like, Yoichi's not even phased. Like, I love that. I feel like Yoichi, it's funny because I was like, he seems like he's so vulnerable and weak on the surface, but the reality is Yoichi may be the best person to have a contract with a demon because he's the least agitated. It's like, oh wait, no, that's kind of perfect. He has the constitution. He has the range. And then Kimizuki is barely there, right? So yeah, they just take him, just got cracks all up in the room. No big deal. I just wrecked this room, but I'm Guren, so I don't care. You can fix this, right? We got the budget. He's like, let's go. And so I do like that Guren does not like Shinoa. And I like that because of her bloodline. He's like, I wish you'd passed out. And she's like, what? And he says, looking so relaxed without even using a word. I guess I should expect no less from the main family line of the Japanese Imperial Army. What a turnoff. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm totally cute. So, one, how old is Shinoa? She is not a high schooler from that line. I was like, when he said like a turnoff, I'm like, are you trying to hit on one of your students? But I don't think Shinoa is as young as she looks. One. And two, Guren doesn't like her. So, interesting. I wonder if he just doesn't like her because of her family line. But Shinoa's kind of devious, so that's interesting. And he tells her to piss off. Very curious. So yeah, he gets all of them together. And I like that. I was like, Sayuri, you said Yoichi had one of the highest constitutions of everybody there, and then she doesn't want him to go and sign a contract. She doesn't think he's strong enough. I'm like, girl, make up your mind. But we do get the backstory with Yoichi. We get to see that his sister was killed by a vampire, which connects him to Kimizuki because he can relate with his sister, and Kimizuki, and also relates to Yu with losing Mika and his other found family. So Yoichi and Yu and Kimizuki have all lost family or have been near losing family because of the vampires and because of the plague. That's how they all connect to one another. Very curious. But yeah, so Guren doesn't seem concerned though. Like Yu and Kimizuki tell Yoichi to go back. They're like, you don't need to be a part of this. You should go back while you still can. And Yoichi's like, no, I want to do this. And Guren supports it. Guren's like, nah, it's fine. You'll either die or become a manning demon, so I'll kill you either way. So this isn't a game. If you want to do this, then do it. And Yoichi has resolve, so there we go. But yeah, this elevator that they take to go down into the demon hall, like, it's like blood-stained and nasty. There's like blood everywhere. I'm like, did nobody come in with like some Windex or something and clean this off? I was like, what is happening? And they all just act pretty nonchalant about it. Like, the fact of the matter is, like, people die down here. Like, the contracts don't work out and they have to be killed. So there's like blood stained everywhere. I'm like, that would kind of give me second thoughts. And maybe that's why they keep it there, to kind of keep people from thinking that it's all hunky-dory. Like, once you go down here, there's a chance someone will die. So just so you know. And yeah, they've all made their choice. Interesting. And yeah, I like that they asked Kimizuki Shinoa asked Kimizuki. She points out, she's like, you were barely standing. Are you sure you can handle this? And I like that she points it out. Mm-hmm. And then yeah, poor you and Kimizuki, they're just constantly bickering at one another. I love it. And so yeah, Guren warns him. He's like, this demon is not like the one that you faced before you. This is going to be different. If you let your guard down, it'll possess you and kill you in a heartbeat. Mm-hmm. And Yu's like, yeah, I got it. That's the one thing. Yu's our idiot, but at the end of the day, I'm like, he knows what he's doing. Somewhat. So then yeah, they go into this crazy chamber here. The old Chamber of Secrets here. And it looks super sus. I was like, there's all these red strings connecting to these weapons by these demons. Looks kind of creepy. At this point, I'd be like, huh. But yeah, I'm assuming this is the forbidden enchantments that the vampires are talking about. Like all these ribbons, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 demons with different faces. So there's different weapons all around. There's the ones that Kimizuki takes. There's another weapon. There's the sword. I want to look at all these demons. These different heads. So yeah, it looks like a sword, different swords there, maybe a bow, and then you have your dual weapons. But yeah, there's 5 altogether, right? Which would make sense. You have Shinoa, you have the blonde girl, and then you have Kimizuki, and you have Yu, and you have Yoichi. So there's 5 of them. So that would kind of make sense, because there's 5 demons and 5 weapons. But Shinoa already has hers. She has the scythe, right? Go back and look at that little hole there. Make sure there's still 5. I'm right there. Maybe. Oh no, there's 7. Oh, there's 7 different holes. Okay. All right, there's 7 altogether. So interesting. 7 different demons. 7 demon kings in 7 different circles. Interesting. And yes, Sayuri, she just pieces out. She's like, bye. Have fun. Hope you don't die. Yeah, what is this place? And it's where we store what you want most. The weapons holding the highest ranked demon kings. Yeah, the idea that these weapons are possessed by demon kings. It's a little discouraging, right? And they hide them all underground. Like, Again, there's some sketchy elements about this world building with this demon army. I'm like, See, I like that the one demon has the fangs that are going the opposite direction. And that's the one that Yu picks. Interesting. And Yu's just very single-minded. He's like, if I get this weapon, can I kill the vampires? And Guren's like, well, that's up to your skill. Like, if you're skilled enough, yeah. And then he asks if it's the same as his sword. He's like, they're rare black demons. The rare black demon series. I like, it makes it sound like these demons are like cards. Like the rare black demon series. It's like, these are supernatural beings. I don't know if it's right to term them like that. It's weird. And so enough talk. Let's start. Yeah, Guren's like, I don't have time to waste with y'all. I have to take a nap. And so, yeah, what do you need to do? You just pick the weapon and enter the spell circle. It's as simple as that. You just enter the spell circle and make a contract with a demon. No biggie. I feel like there's like a catch-22 with this, but I guess it's the idea that if it fails, you die. So I guess that's the catch. The contract ceremony will start automatically when you touch a weapon. Because they're all connected with the ribbons. Okay, yeah, you see the dual weapons. If you don't lose to the demon, you'll gain its power. And if you do lose, then either you become a man-eating demon or it'll just crush and kill you. Cool. And then he's like, on second thought, you'll die either way. So since I'll kill you if you become a man-eating demon. And yeah, they all have that resolve. But Yoichi's like, And I like that you just is like, I've been waiting forever for this. It's fine. Let me go get my sword. Stupid Gurin making me go to stupid school. I love it. So yeah, of course he's going for the sword. For Mika, I'll exterminate the vampires that killed him. Well, about that. There wasn't a vampire that killed him. Well, I guess Cruel and Farid. Yeah, and then he's like, that's the only thing I've lived for, is to get revenge on those vampires. And Gurin just looking at him. And so then, yeah, there's like a bow with the green on it. And Yoichi's like, okay. And then, yeah, the dual weapons. Okay. I can't believe this is a cliffhanger. That they just ended it right here. That's such a tease. Such a tease. He grabs the green blade, enters the circle, and that's it. And that's all we get to see. What the heck? This episode went by so fast. I was waiting for him to like go into another world, see the demon, whatever, and that's where it cuts off. How dare you, show? But I really liked this episode a lot. This episode was a lot of fun. I liked it. I like that we're getting some world building. I like that we're establishing the top brass. Shinoa is connected to the top brass. Of course she is. That Guren, his attitude about the whole thing, get the platinum blonde haired guy, that Mika is preparing to go find Yu. We're getting all that. The idea that this demon contract that is in no way, shape, or form sketchy as hell. Like we're getting like the world building is revealing itself slowly but surely, and I really like it. So it'll be curious to see what happens next, but I can't believe it ended on a cliffhanger like that. So fine. I guess we'll wait and see what happens, won't we? But I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, what you guys thought of this episode. I'm so glad we get to see the OP and ED now. I'm so happy. I'm really excited for the next episode. Very excited to see what all happens with all 3 of our boys and these demon contracts. I hope we get to see for each one what happens for each of them. That's my hope. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back next week with episode 6 of Seraph of the End. Bye.